To what extent do you believe past systems of racial oppression, such as Jim Crow, affect minorities today?
I think it affects them today in that it affected their past and it led them to the situation that they started off today. But I don't think it's the only thing that affects them.
Do you think that people of European descent are given too much blame, a fair amount of blame, or not enough blame for racial disparities in the economy?
I think it's fair. I think the blame is fair. I don't think it should be fair.
Would you support some form of reparations for African Americans whose ancestors were enslaved?
No, I believe in it morally, but I don't think it's practical.
Yeah, so you're opposed because you don't believe.
I don't think it's not practical. I don't think you can economically do it.
Do you believe that America has appropriately addressed its past actions oppressing racial minorities?
No, but there's no way to actually do that.
To what extent do you believe past systems of racial oppression, such as Jim Crow laws, affect racial minorities today?
I think that they significantly impact racial minorities today, and you can see that in our present prison system, for example, and how African Americans are overrepresented and given longer and harsher sentences for crimes compared to white Americans, also in the prison system.
Do you think that people of European descent are given too much blame, enough blame, or not enough blame for racial disparities in the economy?
I feel like it depends on who's blaming.
Yeah.
You know, if the person is socially aware, I feel as though it's probably just enough blame. But for those who can't really see the impacts of our past and how it affects the present, then it wouldn't be enough blame.
Would you support some form of reparations for African Americans whose ancestors were enslaved?
Yes.
Would you support reparations in the form of cash payouts or in another form?
That's a really good question. I'm not eager to leap on the idea of giving African Americans cash payouts. So I feel like people will be able to work around that, and since we're those cash payouts wouldn't really mean anything. So maybe something, I don't know, a different form.
Do you believe that America has appropriately addressed its past actions oppressing racial minorities?
Not at all.
Do past systems of racial oppression, such as Jim Crow laws, affect racial minorities?
I'd say to a pretty fair extent. I think that in certain regions where Jim Crow, for example, Jim Crow laws existed, it really shaped the way that people thought about how society should run, and the people still exist today, and they had they've taught different generations. So I'd say to a pretty fair extent, at least in that aspect.
Do you think that people of European descent are given too much blame, a fair amount of blame, or not enough blame for racial disparities in the economy?
I'd say probably fair amount of blame. It doesn't seem like it's too much or not enough. I feel like a lot of people are pretty aware about I think what they are trying to point out in that aspect, in that situation. So yeah.
Would you support some form of reparations for African Americans whose ancestors were enslaved?
Yeah, I mean, I could support it. I think morally, I don't know if I could vote for something like that though. In the practical sense, yeah.
Would you support reparations in the form of cash payouts or in some other form? What would be your ideal if you were to get that?
My ideal form. Well, I think you definitely. I think the issue is about the equality of opportunity. So I think whatever. I think certain groups would probably want to come together. I don't know if I can speak for that. I would say hopefully what they would see as something that would give them equal opportunity. So if it be cash, it's fine.
Do you believe that America has appropriately addressed its past actions oppressing racial minorities?
I would say yeah. I'd say they've done. Think about certain foundations in grants. Maybe that's not exactly the government, but I think it's an improvement in at least treatment. It's
Do you
on
think
some
it's
level.
like to the full extent that it should be?
To the full extent that it should be, though. I say sure. I don't really know what I think. I don't really know what because I'm not really in a position to where I really have to think about that. So I don't know what I'd want it to look like if it were to be
To what
more.
extent do you believe past systems of racial oppression, such as Jim Crow laws, affect racial minorities today?
Definitely think there's still like a Jim Crow mentality in some parts of the U.S. and that like although it's not as intense as it was back then, I feel like there still is like racism today. Yeah, it's definitely people still feel it.
Do you think that people of European descent are given too much blame, a fair amount of blame, or not enough blame for racial disparities in the economy?
Ooh, I feel like I'm not sure. I feel like they're given. I feel like they're given a lot of blame, but I'm not sure if it's like if it is too much or if it's like just right.
Would you support some form of reparations for African Americans whose ancestors were enslaved?
I don't remember. Yeah, I'd say so.
Would you support reparations in the form of cash payouts or in some other form?
If it was like so much money, then I feel like cash payouts might be a little, because there were a lot of people that you could link back and then you'd have to pay a lot of money. So if it was like a giant sum of money, then maybe that wouldn't be practical and it could be like scholarships or something like that.
Do you believe that America has appropriately addressed its past actions regarding racial oppression?
I'm not so sure, but yeah, I'd say so. I'd say that we talk about it a lot in schools and stuff. And
To what extent do you believe past systems of racial oppression, such as Jim Crow laws, affect minorities today?
I mean, just in the aspect that like that stigma's still there, and like it's been passed down from generation to generation. Because like when you grow up somewhere, like people who do discriminate still. Like sometimes it's not even their fault. It's literally just because they're from in the context of where they live, so that's all they know. So it's definitely just had a toll on the future and changed people's mindsets. Because like when it comes to like social cues, like we're pretty brainwashed just because stuff is passed down. Like it's hard to have your own views and be your own person.
Do you think that people of European descent are given too much blame, a fair amount of blame, or not enough blame for racial disparities in the economy?
I mean, I think it can go both ways. It can be too much, the aspect that they started all this, but it also is on us to work together to fix these types of things, because you have like a lot of minorities who don't get along and don't know how to work together. For example, gang violence and things like that. Like we all have to work together to help the cause, so you can't just pin it on one person when it's a collective effort.
Would you support some form of reparations for African Americans whose ancestors were enslaved?
Nah, because like two wrongs don't make a right. So like you could have your revenge and be like, oh, we're even, but at the same time the other side's gonna be like, no, we're not even. Like it'd be a never-ending cycle. So you literally just have to come up with a new plan.
Do you believe that America has appropriately addressed its past actions oppressing racial minorities?
Nah, not at all. Because they downplay. I mean, any country that did something wrong, they're gonna downplay what they did, and you can see it in like history books, how educated people are on things like that. Because a lot of people are pretty ignorant to it. But like I said, we're brainwashed, so like we're taught to only know it in a certain way and not the real story.